trenches. Ask a nigga what he benching. Triple digits, nigga, don't forget to mention. Whole hard in the trenches. Ask a nigga what he benches. Triple digits, nigga, don't forget to mention. Don't forget I got memories, dead stain the whole room if I let him bleed. Shit was dark, I let this little light him out.
That's what that link was. That's what that link was.
Okay.
You good, Malik? Everything good?
What's up with y'all?
What's good, bro?
I didn't want to jump in the conversation and shit.
Oh no, you good, you good. I just didn't, because I know last time I had looked, it said that your audio was connecting, so I didn't even know what was going on, man. Okay.
Thank y'all for having me, bro.
Oh, for sure, bro. I appreciate
no
you.
problem, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've been following you for a little minute, man. So I know what you be up to, man. I know the Raiders is your that's your prized possession right there when it comes to football and shit. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to the intro for those who don't know. Because we are talking for a little second. Tonight we got on the good man Maliik Obee. He's out of the DMV. He is a Vegas Raiders fan. And also has covered them for a period of time. And a little bit more background for Maliik, man. He's an author of Bounce Beat Baby and the co-creator of Draft HBCU, which is actually a Twitter account dedicated to HBCU talent and the history of HBCUs. So again, like I said, welcome to the show. I know we talked for a little second. You was definitely we were both anxious to get on and chop it up for a second. But how you doing tonight? Everything good?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely good. I'm happy to be on. Happy to talk football. I'm looking forward to the football team season. I'm looking forward to the Raiders. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the game when we play y'all. So
yeah, we got the AFC West, man. We got the AFC West. So let me ask you this question, because Rod's from the area. Rod Reed, you know, he's a Titans fan. Nick is from the area. This motherfucker is a Dallas fan. I'm from the area. I'm a Skins fan. How the hell?
No better, bro.
How the hell did you end up being a Raiders fan?
All right, so real simple. You know, like in the 90s, everybody loved Michael Jordan, right? Everybody loved Barry Sanders and Jerry Rice. I love Jerry Rice. I wasn't really like in football to the point where I had a team at first. I was more basketball. Then when I really liked football, I was like, yeah, Jerry Rice is my favorite player. And at that point, I was just like, man, Jerry about to play with Tim Brown. I'm with them. You know, at first my dad was really trying to convince me. He almost had me to be a Redskin fan, but it didn't work. And then boom, I was just like, you know what, Raiders, we got a chance, man. And from there, and the thing is, I started liking the Raiders like right before it got bad. You know, so that 1 year of good is like
that sucks, bro.
You know, that's what people say, like, how do you become that guy? But you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I stuck through it through the worst. What can you say to me? You know what I'm saying? I was here for the last 20 years of terribleness. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Hey, no bullshit.
Sure. I know what that's about.
I must say, I feel like we all have that little splash. The only difference is Cowboys and Raiders and Skins. We had it the longest. Ryan and his Titans, he had his little dips of success, but god damn.
Hey, bro, that was wild.
The ultimate
that
difference
was a little
is
minute.
all of y'all done been to the playoffs more than once since y'all was 5.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
but ours was for size, man. Our shit was fake. Well, we knew what was going on the next year.
A real fan, I've seen one playoff game. One.
Which one was that? Who y'all playing?
Derek Carr wasn't playing because he got hurt.
Who dropped? Oh, that was okay. Yeah. Who started that game? Accounts.
That was supposed to be the year. You know what I'm saying? But it'd be like that. That was a long time ago. We talking about now. That was 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
people been stuck on that forever. That was a long time ago.
For sure. You know? Hey, so listen. Before we get back into Raiders football, man, because Bounce Beat Baby, I know, like I said, you're an author. I want to get this out the way first because I remember the debut of this thing, and it was I hadn't had a chance to read it, but at the same time, the support and the feedback that you were getting, I paid attention to, and it was really good. Let the people know who aren't from the DMV area what Bounce Beat Baby is all about.
So, to sum it up my way is like, you know, every major area gets their props for the music that they've created. Like when you think of Seattle, you think of grunge, you think of Nirvana, you think of, you know, Pearl Jam, Green Day, etc. You think of New York or the Bronx, and then everywhere else you think of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing for go-go, but it's not as many tangible things in terms of books, documentaries, etc. So, I got kind of tired of just talking about stories of, around my way or doing papers and stuff. I was just like, one day I'm gonna just try to write a book and see what people think about it. I really didn't think a lot of people would read it, but it got a lot more push than I thought it would. So it's a great thing, and it's opened some doors for me to talk about something I'm passionate about. You know what I'm saying? And also, it's helped people that I know around them want to talk about their stories. So it's something I'm really proud of, definitely.
Hey, fellas, if y'all aren't following Maliik on Twitter, Maliik has this thing where, and it's not even like it's not a daily thing or a weekly thing, but he has these moments like he's a fucking memory bank where he has on this day, T.O.B. played XYZ at this club, ABM played XYZ at this club, had the video or had the YouTube link, man, and it always gives me flashbacks. I'm not gonna lie to you, Maliik. I've strayed away from go-go. And I don't think it has anything to do with the music itself, but I strayed away when I stopped playing. And so that was some time ago. I just went back to Gucci Mane. That was it. That's where everything started. Went back to Gucci Mane. But you have this passion. I remember the go-go karaoke thing that you was going to. You was trying to see what that's all about, bruh. Like this is something that you're really passionate about, ain't it?
Yeah, it's like, when we was in high school, that was our thing. College too, like Morgan, I went to Morgan. That's a HBCU. So when you're in the East Coast,
I'm about to say, why does he look so familiar? I've seen him before.
I forgot to mention that part. My bad.
Morgan.
I forgot to mention that part.
I was like, why is this?
When did you graduate, bro? When you
I graduated. I was around the same time they was there, but I didn't graduate till after them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I
graduated 2017.
I was like, think about it. I got to think of where I've seen them before. I had to think about it. But yeah, I went to Morgan. So when I first got there, listen, like 3 weeks into school, they was like, yeah, we having a go-go. And it was like 10 bands for $10. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? It was a life-changing thing for me. So it kind of like, once I got older, it kind of slowed down for me, of course, you know what I'm saying? But the passion for the sound and just the culture of it, it never really leaves. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing for me. It's never really gonna leave for me. And in terms of like dates, like we used to sell CDs in school. So like whoever had access to a computer, Go-Go Central sites like that, iMeme and stuff like that, we'd sell a CD in school. I went to Bladensburg, so not everybody had a computer. So like we was trying to be like my man Frank, Go-Go Frank, and sell CDs like he was doing a Duval. So that's how I started remembering a lot of the dates and stuff.
Hey, it's incredible. He like I said, that memory bank is real. All right, so yeah, as long as y'all know, Bounce Me Baby, man, it's legit. If y'all are ever interested, especially Washington football fans who listen to the All 32 side of the Trap or Dive, there was, as you know, they just started this dance team or dance group, and they do the go-go stuff on that side, but it's not like the music that they're playing is not necessary. I mean, it's go-go, but you can go deeper into the music that they're giving you at the stadium. And this is something that's a great
start, though. It's definitely a great start.
It's a good start. I'll give them credit in that. I am a little bit more critical because I know that they can do better, but it's like, are you going to listen to the people who are actually in this? Like, are you going to listen to us, or are you going to say, all right, let's find something that'll like tinker the line of go-go and it can still be enjoyable for people who live in fucking Florida? Like, no, go find out what Bounce Me Baby is all about, and then go from there.
Yeah, I mean, because you got last year I was covering the DC Defenders, and like before every home game they had a go-go band. Every game, like I think one time it was Junkyard, it was some other people, and they were going to have Backyard before the season ended with COVID in 2020. But like you got the Washington go-go, which was the semi-pro team, and then you got the Mystics, all these bands, they got all that. So, you got to really incorporate the go. But I know that they have like authentic, that's not really my lane. I know like Crazy Legs and stuff like that. But I know from what I heard, they have like authentic Beat Your Feet legends working with them and stuff like that. So it is a start. I don't know if Dan Snyder want to go full the Pearl, you know what I'm saying? But like, It is a start though. It all also has to do. And then you got people like Chase Young in the building who's super PG. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that'll also influence the culture over time. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think it's a start.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, let's go and get some Raiders football, man. The first thing is probably not going to be enjoyable for you, but you got to break it down because this is your mob. What do you think is the reason? I mean, because the Raiders last year they got off to a hot start, man. The Derek Carr and the offense, man, firing on all cylinders. Yeah, they were firing on all cylinders, man. I think y'all ended up y'all started off. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 6-2, like 8-3 type thing. And then
the Raiders was 8-3 last year.
It was something up there.
They were 6, I believe. Off the top of my head, I think they went 6-2 and then finished out bad.
I don't even remember that, bro. For some
reason, they were not playing. They got out there. That was
just like the year before last when the Raiders when the last Raiders home game against the Jaguars and got beat by Gardner Minshew. Like it was so many games the last 2 years where it's like you understand why people are frustrated with Jon Gruden in a sense, because it's like, I mean, you got to look at it two ways. You know what I mean? He blew the whole team up. Whether you agree with it or not, when you blow the whole team up, you got to give people time, especially he has all the time in the world. When have you ever heard of a guy getting a 10-year contract in this day and age?
That's incredible.
I mean, seriously, they had too much faith in him.
Once you do that, it's like, you know, what can I really say? I mean, the leash is as long as he wants it to be. I mean, every move, people continue to speculate. Was this a Mayock move? Was this a Gruden move? You know, this one, that one. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like, the only thing I probably feel like he didn't have control of was trading Khalil Mack. We already knew that. You know what I'm saying? I know he wanted him. And that whole story that just came out this week made them look even worse in my eyes. But at the end of the day, people got to also look at it like this. The Bears, Khalil Mack don't have a playoff sack. The Bears don't have a playoff win. I mean, in the long term, he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. And who knows what's going to happen in these next few years with Josh Jacobs and all of the picks. But right now, I don't want to call it a lose for either team, but I just think that the Raiders could have handled that better. Jon Gruden, this is a year that he has to win, and I think they can win. I don't want to talk too much and skip over your question, but I think they can win this year.
So let's get to how the collapse even started. So yes, I looked up. They were 6-3 and finished up 8-8. Where do you think things started going wrong with the team? I mean, obviously there was probably some things that you noticed early on, but y'all was still winning. But what were some of those things were major factors or major contributors for the Raiders finishing 8-8 and missing out on the playoff opportunity?
Well, for one was the offensive line. I mean, Trent Brown's situation was a headache all the way through. When he was healthy, he was good, but it was always some issues. Secondary. The Raiders last year went into the offseason and addressed everything except their secondary. They got two guys back there. Jonathan Abram, who is not mature. He's talented. He's not mature. Hopefully he's matured this season because he's got exposed a lot last year. Wasn't really healthy. You know, I kind of made the excuse that this was really his rookie year last year, but he was just too immature on and off the field. Hopefully he's grown. I mean, he's been quiet so far. But in terms of free safety, that's probably the most important position when you got very inexperienced corners. Trayvon Mullen is decent. He can be good. He's a decent corner. Damon Arnett really was struggling last year with injuries and everything. And then you got a guy like Nevin Lawson, who's I don't think he still never had a career interception. You got this guy, this is your primary nickel corner. He's getting beat consistently. Anybody watching this that watches Raiders can agree. I mean, consistently. You know what I'm saying? So you have that secondary. They finally addressed the linebackers last year, bringing in Nick Kwiatkowski. I thought Nick Kwiatkowski, I wish I had my old Twitter. I really thought that they should have included him in the Khalil Mack trade. You know what I'm saying? Especially for a team like the Raiders. When's the last time that any of y'all have ever heard the Raiders have an all-pro linebacker? You know what I'm saying? Inside linebacker. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that was something that
Kowski dude, the racist or whatever his name was. I forgot who.
Yeah, that was 20. You know, that was 20 years ago. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. These are things that they habitually have overlooked. This year, you bring in Trayvon Mullen, which is going to be a big difference because this guy, first of all, he's an athlete. He's smart. The Raiders, you know, a lot of these traditions. You know, you talk about Al Davis and everybody having different principles and schemes and things like that. The Raiders have drafted bad. Historically, I won't say so, but over the last 10 years, it's been really bad. I mean, taking Jahad Ward over Deion Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's tough.
Hindsight is 20/20, of course. But I mean, this is, so this year, that's what I'm saying. This year they finally said, okay, we got to address some of these positions. But to sum up the question, I just felt like the defense, the secondary, Raiders have some of the best run-stopping defensive tackles and linebackers you can find. Shoestring tackles and 3-yard gains and tackles for losses are cool, but if you're getting gashed on 3rd and 10 for 36 yards, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And then I think Derek Carr, we'll get to that, but go ahead. Yeah. Well, it's the defense. The defense for one, and I think that in a sense also the offense struggled so bad in red zone. You know what I'm saying? Between the 20s, the Raiders are great. Josh Jacobs, they moving. Darren Waller, they moving. You get in the 20s, even this preseason, you see it. They have trouble in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? When you this
man,
year you got
Maliik is not lying. These guys, I just looked red zone. They were 32nd in the NFL. They were 54%
offensively,
54% in the red zone.
You know what I'm saying?
59,
that's tough.
59 red zone attempts, 32 touchdowns.
That's tough.
We're talking about a team that's going down the field, and especially this year. Think about it. You're going to get
23rd. Excuse me, I read it wrong. So 23rd offensively, but they only scored 32 touchdowns on 59 attempts. So that's what I was reading.
Like, come on, bro. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get into these games late, where your defense is not good, you can't score more than 14 points at some time. You gotta, this is how we end up 8-8. You know what I'm saying? And that's a Gruden thing. That in terms of the red zone, that's a Gruden issue. He gets too cute. You know what I'm saying? He'll shy away from people. Derek Carr got to take some blame too. But, I mean, we'll get into that where I rank him and all of that whenever you're ready. But, yeah.
So I got a question.
Yep. Go ahead, Rob.
My bad. Go ahead. So, no, it's a slightly off base, but it has a point to why I'm asking. So, what did you think about the whole Antonio? I know it was a couple of years ago. What did you think about the whole Antonio Brown situation? And do you think, how badly did it damage you all's team when he, when it happened? Because when the trade happened, it was like a really big thing. Like everybody was feeling good, feeling like,
and it all played out on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, on Hard Knocks.
To be honest with you, you got to look at it from then to now. Long term, the Raiders are still in search of the X that they need, X receiver that they need because of the fact.
I was just about to get to that.
That Antonio Brown. You really hope that Braylon. I mean, damn, I said Braylon Edwards. So,
that's a throwback, bro. That is a.
We really hope that he can turn into Bryan Edwards. Can for one stay on the field this year. He's a very talented player. I felt like it's like a Dez Bryant type of player, but who knows if that's going to happen? That's a big flag for the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? If you have Antonio Brown, who just showed that he's still arguably a top 10, I think he's still a top 10 to 15 receiver, regardless going into the season. He's going to look good this year. You know what I'm saying? All
right, full offseason.
You got a guy like Antonio Brown. You mask a lot of Derek Carr's flaws because he can work in the open field. He can get downfield. He can get separation. You can't double team Darren Waller when you got a guy like him and you got Ruggs would have had, that's another thing. When with Antonio Brown not even playing the game, that changes the dynamic of who they drafted. I think that's another question. I mean, I think that anybody could see they probably should have took, CD, but that was a decision they made.
Who did y'all take this year?
This year he took first pick was Alex Leatherwood, tackle from
as Alabama. A guard, a tackle. Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean he's been okay. He's been okay so far, but I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about the offensive line at all. Honestly, I think a lot of people are. I'm really not. I think that Tom Cable is a good offensive line coach. He made the most out of the Raiders' moves on the offensive line, and they get Richie Incognito back. I know he's old, but
the Raiders passed him CD.
Nasty dude, you know what I'm saying? That's a nasty dude. And if they can get him back, and his run blocking makes a big difference for Josh Jacobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let's ask.
Y'all should have took CD.
Yeah.
I was blown. To be honest, I could not believe that Antonio Brown that happened like that because I had high hopes for that, and it didn't even too much. So we got 2 match updates. He was gone.
All right, so look, let's talk about a bright spot in y'all offense, man. Darren Waller, we know his history. I think he was actually on Hard Knocks at one point. I think it was actually the Raiders one where they was talking about his past and when he was with the Ravens and dealing with his his drug addiction. I think this is the same guy. And he overcame it, and he's become one of the better tight ends in the NFL. I think easily heading into 2021, he's a top 10 tight end. How impactful?
Whoa, slow down. Top 3.
Hey, look, if you want to say top 3, go for it. I'm just saying top 10 to be on the
He's
safe
definitely
side.
top 3. He
Raiders in top 5 anything, but Darren Waller is top 3.
All right,
top
so
3.
so how impactful
you
has
gotta
he
go
been?
Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, bro. Anybody
All
else?
right, hold on.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I'm not even trying. Now we got it. Now we got to do it. I wasn't even trying
Who's
to do
better
it.
than them 3?
We about to find out.
Statistically, any way you want to put it, who can check Darren Waller? You can line him up any way you want to line him up.
And Slim is super physical too, bro. Fast as I don't know what.
Kelsey is clear cut to me number 1. I think Kittle is number 2, and then Waller's number 3. I think
this motherfucker had 107 catches.
He get active.
And
he worked awesome.
He get active.
That's with the Raiders struggling in the red zone.
And Derek Carr be looking for him.
After this year, it's going to change though. I know who's going to be number 3.
Well, this year, I feel like the offense is gonna go. The offense is gonna go through him early, so I feel like in the first 3-4 games he might have like 500 yards because of the fact that like Henry Ruggs is still increasing his role, and Edwards, we got to see what's gonna happen with him. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna go through Darren Waller.
Hey, top 3 is fair. I feel like somebody got hurt though. It was hold on, wait. All right, so Travis, George Kittle, all right, so Darren, not Gronkowski. Who did I say? I said
I didn't hear you.
George Kittle. Kittle, because he was the one who got hurt that I was thinking of actually.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah. What about your boy, your tight end? That went to the Patriots, Jonnu. Where is he at?
Jonnu not better than
No, I said where is he at? I didn't say
he's top 10. He's like the bottom of the 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say so.
Let me think. Off the top of my head, I would have to say those 3. You got to put.
We're just doing the vetting process right now. We're trying to make sure, you know what I'm saying, we're on the same page. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Nah.
Are we doing just top 10 tight ends right now?
No, we're just trying to figure out at least the top 5 to make sure that, you know, that Waller stamped, he's a verified top 3.
Let me see who else I have put in my top 5. Let me see.
Austin Hooper.
No. He out. He ain't there. He ain't there.
Mark Andrews.
I do like Mark.
You got
Mike Gesicki. He likes that.
I like him, but I don't know if he the top. I don't know if he top 5. I don't even know if Logan Thomas, people will say statistically he's top. Like he was, clearly statistically he was like the 3rd best tight end. But he's not.
Boy in Green Bay was hooping too.
You said Green Bay.
You got to put Dallas. You got to put.
Tanya, he was hooping.
You got to put T.J. Hawkinson in the top 5.
I fuck with Hawkinson.
I would definitely say.
I like Hunter Henry too, and I just don't know. I like Hunter Henry. I like Mark Andrews. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, like he hurt. Like so, it's kind of hard.
He's top 3 talent.
I think I gotta say Darren is. I think Darren is. He's up there. I think he's 3rd. I think he's top 3. Excuse me. I think he's top 3 for sure.
Raiders fans will tell you.
I don't think it's a debate, bro. Like who's I can't think of nobody on his level. Who's the close? I'm about to say, and he's as good as the first 2.
Yeah, I think it's a toss up either way. I think I'm not gonna lie. I think Kelsey is number 1, clear cut, because he's been doing it so long.
Right.
But 2 and 3, you can make a real talk. because Waller, he's more dangerous than Kittle. Kittle is stronger, but Waller, you can't put.
Hey, I think Kittle too, bro.
Kittle's like that, bro.
Kittle is like fucking dog.
And he can block anybody too.
Corner on Darren Waller. You can't put a nickel corner. You can't put an outside linebacker. There's a lot of people you can't put on Darren Waller. And it's tape out there.
For sure. I ain't gonna argue with that.
Yeah.
And he like what, 6'4", 6'5"?
Kittle is number 1. I wish he was in another division, but he's definitely number 1.
So let's all right. So now that we got that verified, I after looking at it, I agree. We got Waller in the top 3. What impact? Because again, like I said, we understand that his background and then understand that like the type of rise that he had with the Vegas Raiders, what type of impact has he made for Gruden's offense, the Raiders and Gruden's offense? Like how impactful has he become for this team?
I think first of all, you got to look at it as what impact he has for the Raiders, period. Because if you take away Khalil Mack, he's probably the bright spot of this decade. This is probably this is the truest type of Raiders story that, you know, like this is the thing about the Raiders. The Raiders are like road to redemption. Either you come from another team, you got arrested or something, you come and redeem yourself with the Raiders, you're undrafted or something. That's always been the Raiders stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, for the underdog. You know what I'm saying? So like getting a guy to literally fall in your lap and give him the help that he needs, but to also, let's be honest, in a business sense, they're getting over. They got a top 3 tight end for pennies. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, if he wanted to hold out, he has the right to. You know what I'm saying? But they got a game changer and literally a guy that you can run your offense through, that they don't have to worry about.
Diamond in the rough.
You know, this is a real diamond in the rough. And I follow his story even more because he's from the area. You know what I'm saying? So like, to see him come from where he's come from and everything he's overcame, he chronicles it. He says, "This is how long I've, you know," and in terms of what he does on the field, you know, I mean, he's amazing. But like for the transition, also from Oakland to Las Vegas, like this is a guy they can put on the billboards and all of that stuff. Like he's anti-Vegas. He's like, I don't want to say this is what can go wrong, but like, he's saying like this is the opposite of what you know what I'm saying?
He triumphed. He triumphed more than anything, and that's something that's a great thing to represent or push out there. Is like he withstood all the demons that he's experienced.
Definitely, and he's consistent. I mean, he, you know, since he's gotten an opportunity, he's shown up and shown out. He's durable. He's done everything that they've asked him to do. You know what I'm saying? He's a certified game changer. I'm talking about, like, especially his last 2 seasons. You've seen it. He makes a difference.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
All right. So,
sure.
All right. To your guy, Derek Carr, man. A lot of people have their doubts about Derek Carr and his ability. And I speak on that aspect from the sense of I'm in the Washington football world, and when you talk about quarterbacks, they get so anal about that shit. And I'm like, bruh, you talking about a person that I know for a fact that you probably haven't watched because all you do is watch Washington football. With that being said, like I said, they have their doubts and about his ability, but last year was one of his most efficient seasons in the NFL. Where are you at with Carr, and where are you at with his 2021 outlook?
I'll tell you what, I'll just be honest with you, especially since I'm talking to y'all. I think, like, if Derek Carr was on the Washington football team, you not only had the clear-cut NFC Division East winner, but arguably a Super Bowl contender. I think people have to understand that he's, to me, and I'm being completely unbiased, in the range of top 10 to 15 quarterbacks.
Oh,
he has top 10 talent. He has one of the strongest arms in the league. He's mobile. You know, all of the questions about Derek Carr are mental. There isn't a throw that he can't make. I mean, let me not say that. He can make throws. He can get the ball downfield. He can put zip on the ball. He can, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all mental. Ball security, big issue. Look at the fumble stats. You know what I'm saying? Look at him, you know, not only, you know, Derek Carr is frustrating because
It is. I don't understand why, because I don't understand.
He's debatably, on paper, the greatest Raiders quarterback ever without a Super Bowl. But if you watch him week in, without a Super Bowl, if you watch him week in, week out, you get, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about 2016. Derek Carr was a top 5 MVP candidate. He showed.
I was just about to talk about that.
You know what I'm saying? He showed everything he went. After the injury, it's been question marks, you know, 2017, 2018. Last 2 years, he's been very efficient, like you said.
Yeah.
The thing about Derek Carr is that, like, the Raiders have to decide. And then when you think about Gruden not having that leash, Derek Carr's leash is as long as Gruden's leash, as we see. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gruden is not going to start over. He could have did it. He doesn't want to. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, okay, this is year 8 of Derek Carr. Derek Carr is still a very good quarterback. The question is this going to be the year, that it all works out? Because some quarterbacks, I don't want to say they have to. But everybody's not going to be an Aaron Rodgers that's just like throwing for 5,000 yards with one Pro Bowl receiver. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to be the case. Derek Carr, I think, is going to have a very good season this year. I think the Raiders go as far as he goes to an extent, but also Gruden's play calling. I think that goes hand in hand.
I think
his confidence is the big issue. I
think you actually low key made a comment that is actually something worth talking about a little bit more. So you mentioned the leash that Gruden has compared to the leash that Carr has, and in my head when you said that was, well, what type of, because this is a chess thing, like what type of advantage does Gruden have over Carr in a sense of, yes, he has that 10-year contract, but then also, like, if things don't work out, he can use the quarterback as a scapegoat and trade him if he had to. Like, what type of advantage does Gruden have over Carr in the sense that, like, I'll just leave it at that so I can hear your thoughts on it, because clearly when it comes to contracts and head coach over a player, the owner has a decision to make, like who are they going to listen to and things like that. So I want to get your opinion on that. What are the advantages that Gruden has in case things don't go the way he wants it to go, at least this season or the next upcoming season, excuse me?
The clear-cut advantage that he has is nostalgia. I'm be honest with you.
That's really good. That's a really good point.
Gruden is here because of the fact of what Gruden did before. He went to Ricky's, which was like a really popular bar, and I think that's Alameda. I hope nobody from Oakland get mad at me. I think that's the Alameda, which is right next to Oakland. Big popular bar where all Raiders fans go. He says, "I'm going to win." Blah 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 blah. Didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even win the last home game in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? You got people that say, "Oh, we went from 4-12 to da 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 da," because that's what happened in 97, 98, 99, and then it's one hand washes the other. Mark Davis really needed Gruden to say, okay, Mark Davis could not go from Oakland to Vegas without the pitchfork coming out with pretty much anybody else at coach, especially not Jack Del Rio. Even if they weren't winning, there's no way that he could have just went from Oakland to Las Vegas and lose half his fan base like that without it being an issue if he didn't bring in somebody to save face, which is what Gruden is. You get that 10-year contract with somebody that's already made the most out of the 6 years or whatever that he had before things went bad. You know what I'm saying? And say, look, this is the guy. He's got everything. He's the
guy just traded for a linebacker, by the way.
The personality, all of that. Like,
this just happened?
Like 2 seconds ago.
What happened?
Yeah, I just traded for a linebacker. Yeah, I got who is this? Denzel Perman.
Oh,
who did it?
From the Chargers?
The Raiders?
From the Panthers. I just traded for him.
He's not from the Chargers. He played with the Chargers, I'm saying, but ain't no way in hell they traded in the division.
He was from Carolina.
Yeah, okay. I thought with Denzel.
Wait, you said who did that?
Raiders,
yeah,
Raiders just traded for Denzel.
Yeah, you just talking about linebackers. There you go.
Here I am trying to put my phone away. But look, that's a good look. I just trying to see the details, but hey, look, that's another proof. Gruden is, he getting as much help as he can get.
So speaking of linebackers though, Nick, you did have a question that we were going to talk about. And just because of this Gruden situation right now and that nostalgia part, I feel like this is a good moment to insert that Khalil Mack question, man. And it was pretty good. So I'm gonna turn it over to you so you can talk to Maliik about this one.
Yeah, he kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but about I guess his initial thoughts about what happened. But I do want to say this: y'all did go for I think 32nd in the league in sacks the year y'all let him go. So that's kind of wild. But how was the fan base around it, and how do you feel about it now?
People are still pissed. that was one of the most shocking things ever. I think, like I said, the value that they got back, I don't care about the picks. I don't care who it turned into. I didn't think it was enough. This is the biggest, this is the biggest Raiders superstar since Tim Brown, like, that you drafted.
Right,
and that's
sure.
88 you drafted Tim Brown, I believe, off the top of my head. Like, this guy wins, he goes all pro at 2 different positions. Through all the BS, through all your terrible drafting, all of that. And you got to think about, like, 2016, he willed that Raiders defense. Like, the Raiders defense was borderline bad. Malcolm Smith is one of the worst linebackers in history.
He has to be, bro. Bro. Why didn't people think he was so nice in Seattle?
Super Bowl,
though, bro?
That Super Bowl, bro.
Honestly, no, playing on that team,
earned a contract off that shit.
Exactly.
The Raiders
Super Bowl MVP.
Watched some of those games in 2016. Bruce Smith is a journeyman. You know what I'm saying? Like, Khalil Mack led that defense. Carolina game, pick 6. He had like 3 sacks and a pick 6. Like, it was Derek Carr and Khalil Mack for real. Like,
they just came out with the details like too.
And then he goes to Chicago and he gets even better. Like, to lose somebody like that, I don't think I felt like that any sport.
I got a question. What players did y'all get back that wasn't in the draft, or y'all just got all draft picks back?
I'm trying to go off I'm not trying to look at the phone. I know the 2 picks turned into Damon Arnett and Jonathan Abram and Josh Jacobs.
Okay, so it was a part of that was the question.
So I'm looking at it now. They said the picks were Josh Jacobs, some dude Austin in the 6th round, Damon Arnett, and then Brian Edwards.
You said Austin?
The South Carolina receiver, Brian Edwards?
No. A cornerback. Yeah, South Carolina receiver, but some dude, I can't bless him to Austin, cousin 6th round. I know he wasn't.
And he's not a Raider.
If Maliik don't know, I'm about to say, Maliik don't know him, then clearly.
I'm saying it's like, that's what I'm saying though. It's like, what you got in return, think about it. Running back shelf life is usually 3 years. Look at Todd Gurley. He's done, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a shame,
we hoping the best for Josh Jacobs, but let's be real. Josh Jacobs is not a 3-down back, because if he was, you wouldn't have gave Kenyon Drake all this money. Then you got Jonathan Abram, who's going into basically his 3rd year. And
has he played a full season yet?
Not a full season, no. So, you know what I'm saying? And then he's out here crashing into the damn camera. I'm trying to think what game that was. Like, come on, bro. Like, this is, so to lose somebody like that and get nothing in return, really. Like I said, even if you got Nick Kwiatkowski and he turned into a Pro Bowler last year or this year, it'd be different. And then maybe some other and you over 500. That's the thing. You're not going. You still haven't gotten over 500. So whatever you got doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter. And in a sense, that's why I'm not really mad at the trade. Also because the Bears, they wasn't going anywhere with Nick Foles and Trubisky anyway. So Khalil Mack hasn't. He's played in the playoffs, but if his career ended today, you're gonna say, damn, Khalil Mack never got a playoff sack?
So what's the story behind
that ain't his fault though. He can't play both sides.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault, but I'm just saying, like, it's a lose-lose for either team. They ain't really done nothing with it. It's up individual stats.
Yeah. Their defense been top. That's
the biggest fault. They should have never went. They should have. I don't know. They should never went Trubisky anyway. But that's another story.
Oh my God! That set their franchise all the way back by not taking Washington. My bad, Mark.
No, you're good. You're good. I think everybody's good.
Chicago, we don't know what he would have been doing. We don't know.
Chicago finds ways to fuck up all the time. So hopefully they get it right with Justin Fields. But
I'm really
I need to
Fields.
I need to figure out what's going on with this. Did they really try to trade back for Khalil in the offseason? Like, is that a legitimate story, or is this like a
that was legit. That was legit from the Athletic, yeah. But this is my thing though. What did the Raiders really expect to get? What did they really expect to give up? Even if you would have threw Derek Carr in the picture, what do you really expect? And then if you're to Chicago, you gotta. what do they really want from the Raiders? That's my thing. What is it that they really want? They don't have a need for Josh Jacobs. There's no premier offensive lineman on the Raiders for them to say, okay, we're going to take him to protect Justin Fields because you just gave away Trent Brown. So what could they possibly have offered? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It just makes them look bad in hindsight for that story to even get out.
All right. So listen, the preseason, man. We're 2 weeks into the preseason. We're heading into the third week, the final week of the preseason. Some players that we need to start paying attention to outside of the Raiders community, man. Who are some of these people that us outsiders need to start paying attention to? Who you think can be contributors to the Raiders throughout the regular season?
First answer that you don't know is Nate Hobbs. It's somebody that, I watch a lot of football. Nate Hobbs, I really have a high comp for him.
Position?
I like cornerback.
Okay.
I think he's been pretty good in preseason so far. I'm not holding preseason to the highest standard, but I think for somebody like the Raiders that needs more flash, more pop, more athleticism, he's probably going to be in the nickel starting. Nate, I think he's going to be pretty good. Another person, like I said, Nick Kwiatkowski. No, matter of fact, I'm going to say Nick Morrow. Nick Morrow had a pretty strong year. He's a linebacker, inside linebacker. He's really coming to his own. And if you're not a Raiders fan, if you play with the Raiders on Madden, because they're going to be pretty good, he's a Madden type of linebacker. It's just starting to translate into real life.
So he must be pretty fast.
He's pretty fast. His coverage abilities are pretty good. Last year, he really had his breakout year. I think this year, depending on what happens with Corey Littleton and they got a young guy named Javen White who's pretty good if he's healthy. I think this would be a real coming out year for Nick Morrow. If the Raiders are good, you're going to hear his name a lot more. And then one more person, let me pick offensively. I would have to say Colton Miller. I'll be honest with you. I think Colton Miller is going to have an all-pro Pro Bowl year this year. That's probably, and this crazy thing is he got all the flack.
Miller is receiver?
No, Colton Miller's a left tackle.
Okay.
When it came down to that draft, it was between him and Mike McGlinchey. But the Raiders a lot of Raiders fans wanted them to go defense, and they went with him at 16. And at first he was hurt. And he's been pretty good. I think he's going to be an all-pro this year. He might have to be an all-pro this year. I mean, when you're in the AFC West, you got to be a damn good left tackle because we arguably got the best pass rushers. You know what I'm saying? So Colton Miller, Nate, and Nick Morrow, those would be the three. Those would be the three that I think that non-Raiders fans that you probably haven't really heard too much about should definitely pay attention to. Those three, definitely.
Okay. All right. So this one is going to be a round table as we close it out for tonight. Fellas, the outlook for the Raiders in the AFC West this year. I'm gonna give it to Nick and Ryan first because I want Maliik to close it out. Ryan, you got the first stab at it. What do you see the Raiders doing in the AFC West? I actually want to look at
the schedule right quick.
And
put this up right quick.
All right. Well, while you doing that, Nick, you got the first stab at it then. What's the outlook, and are they a playoff team?
Are they a playoff team? Probably not. Their division, actually, I think everybody in the division got a little bit better. Of course, you still got the Chiefs. They're going to be hard out. They probably sweep them. I do think Denver's defense will have a solid year this year, especially with the boy P2 over there. He finna scrap. And then who was the Chargers with Justin Herbert? Bro, that's firepower. That is a terrible division to be in. So we looking at a humble, third or fourth place. It's between them and
humble third and fourth.
Yeah, between them and Denver to take last place, bro. They're not being the Chiefs. I do believe Justin Herbert in that offense, especially if Derwin James could stay healthy this year, I think that defense would do something special. Yeah, bro, that's tough. So yeah,
it's definitely tough.
What's funny is they could be like 7-9, or I got 7-10, and still be 4th place, bro. So that's gonna be tough. But 4th place, 3rd or 4th place for sure. No playoffs for them. I just think the division is kind of hard, and all 4 teams are gonna go to the playoffs out of that jump. My bad, Maliik. Go. All Morgan Love though.
That's all good.
Right where you at?
I just got a chance to look at the schedule, man, and I'm leaning towards between 8 and 9 games that they can possibly win. I really feel like how Maliik was feeling, like he just like with Derek Carr, like I think he has all the tools and mechanics to be an elite quarterback in the league. I just don't understand why he has never, aside from that MVP season that he did have until he got injured, which was terrible. I mean, the same day he broke his ankle, Marcus Mariota broke his ankle, so it was all bad news that day. But yeah, man, I
asked right?
It toward the same injury too, fibula. I'll never forget that. But yeah, man, I'm gonna say between 8 and 9 games. It's hard to say what if they make the playoffs or not with the extra seeding in the playoffs. I mean, but it's tough for me to actually go more than 8 to 9 games.
I just saw the schedule. They got a gauntlet to start this season.
Nah, it's tough, bro. It's tough.
The first 6 weeks, the defenses they play are. Hey, bro, Derek Carr his confidence might be done by week 3, bro. That's gonna be tough.
It is. So let me go right quick. Was you done, Nick? I bet.
Yeah, unless you want to read the first 6 games off, the first 6 defenses.
I don't need that. Because here's the thing. First off, Disco actually raised a good point. What's going on, Disco? He said, what's this, year 5 for Gruden on a 10-year contract? He should be on the hot seat. I actually agree. And I think, Disco, if you're just checking in, Maliik mentioned one of the reasons why Gruden has the upper hand in just the situation from a roster standpoint, or even Derek Carr and things like that, is because of the nostalgia aspect of this team. So technically, the Raiders are going to be in a position where, Gruden's going to be in a position where the Raiders aren't necessarily looking to get rid of him anytime soon. That's a possibility. But for me, I actually think they're competing for second. And I think they're just as good as the Chargers. I just think the Chargers have more hype behind their name this year, and that's for obvious reasons. The Chargers offense is fucking amazing with Justin Herbert. The defense is slept on because of the fact that Darren James was hurt last year. So obviously, those factors come into place, especially, and they added Asante Samuel Jr. Like, that guy has been hooping in the preseason already. So like, that's the reason why you're not necessarily hearing a lot about the Raiders. But guess what? The Raiders was the top 10 offense last year. Like, they didn't lose anybody in particular. Like, they didn't lose major pieces. They still got the same type of pieces, and they're trying to retool things. So they're competing for second. So what does second mean in the AFC West? Is that a wild card spot? I think that it is. And so I feel like the outlook for the Raiders, I'm seeing second place. They may compete for first. It depends on how the Chiefs are, but I doubt it. That's my opinion. I doubt it for first. But I'm looking at about 9 wins. The best case scenario for the Raiders is 10, but 9 wins. Worst case scenario for the Raiders is probably 7. But yeah, I'm at 9
wins. Vegas, do you know what Vegas set the over and under for the Raiders this year?
I am not sure.
The over under for the Raiders this year. I'm just curious to know. Oh, no, take over. Take off, bro. Take off.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna go down the schedule. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna put all y'all points in and tell you why. I still think that the Raiders are going to win between 9 and 10 games, but I think they have to win at least 9 games for Gruden not to be on the hot seat. Like, they have to win.
Sure.
If they don't win at least 9 games, Mark Davis really has to consider not only Gruden, but blowing the whole team up. I mean, not really blowing it up, but Carr has to go. Like, there's no coach is going to want to start with Derek Carr in his 9th year, regardless of what he does, if they don't win a certain amount of games. So I'm looking at the beginning of the schedule. Like I said, nostalgia, all of these things are driving why I feel like either the Raiders are going to soar or they're going to crash and burn. Week 1, you got Lamar Jackson. You got Gus Bradley, who just traded for Perryman, you got to think about the connection there. That's LA, you know? So he has another one of his guys in the building, which is, I got to look at the details. I don't even know somebody just got traded or what, but.
I just swapped picks the 6 and 7.
Thank God for Disco. Disco said the over-under is at 7. I actually just looked at it, but I saw his comment. The over-under for the win total is at 7.
So 7, I mean, like, week 1 starts out, and what you're saying about the defense is true, because if you win out at home against Baltimore, that kind of set, and this is the thing about Vegas is that, well, the Raiders
y'all at home for this, okay.
They show up on primetime games. You know what I'm saying?
That game is gonna be live, bro.
This is gonna be a major game.
That's gonna be
one thing the Raiders cannot get blown out. If the Raiders win this game, then we'll be looking at this on September 14th and saying, are the Raiders the favorite to go against Pittsburgh? You know what I'm saying? If they get blown out, yes.
Game, bro.
If they get blown out, then you're looking at these first 6 games. Like, I'm gonna be real, you're looking at the first 7 because the Eagles front 7. Well, the Eagles D line is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, linebackers got some work, but that defensive rotation they got on the line is crazy. Even New York. But when I'm looking at after the bye week, I'm not worried about Daniel Jones at all. That's the factor. They got so much talent, but he only takes them as far as they go. I definitely feel like the Raiders are going to split with Kansas City. They have to win. They have to win at home. But for
I normally play Kansas City pretty good though.
That's playing good every single time.
Derek Carr is also the measuring stick for Derek Carr is going to also be Mahomes because he's always failed against Alex Smith or this one or that one. So like that's what's going to be the defining moment. Also, as long as he's a Raider, he's always going to be the second. Well, he was going to always be second fiddle to Mahomes. Now you got Herbert, who might be a top 5 quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, I'm not really worried about that. I think they're really talented, but their defense, I'm not worried about that. Derek Carr, the Raiders are going to put up, we got to think about, the Raiders are going to put up at least 32 points a game. If they're able to translate in the red zone, they can put up 40 points a game.
32 is a lot.
Dallas,
40 points a game.
Think about what the Raiders have. What I'm saying is best case scenario. You got Darren Waller. Oh, that was the one person. Fabian Moreau.
That was 31 last year.
Fabian Moreau is another person that you probably
I like Fabian now.
You know what I'm saying? But like the Raiders have all of this offensive talent they can put together. Kenyon Drake can put up 100 receptions as a running back in the Raiders offense. Definitely. 100%. If he wanted
you think he's gonna get that many snaps? He's not gonna get that many snaps.
I definitely think he's gonna get that many snaps.
I'm saying to get 100 balls. You think so?
I'm just saying he can, but I mean he'll probably have about 50 receptions this year. But looking at the rest of the schedule, I'm be honest with you, Dallas is a toss-up because who knows what Dak we're gonna get. Let's just be real.
That's for sure. Who knows?
Dak is not 100%. That's a loss for Dallas. And I think that a game like the Washington football team, the Raiders have to win that game in the second half of the stretch because if they don't win that game, they're not going to win at Kansas City and they're not going to win at Cleveland.
That's going to be a tough one.
Denver, I'm not worried about Teddy Bridgewater. I'm not worried about that. Like, I'm worried about their defense. I'm not worried about Derek Carr getting a shootout with Teddy Bridgewater. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's different.
Mediocre Teddy.
Everybody, because Derek Carr, his dead cap, all of that is different this year. He can go somewhere else and have some trade value. It's a lot riding on this year. So Derek Carr can be meaningless shootouts with Teddy Bridgewater and maybe Carson Wentz the next week. You cannot afford this. Derek
He
Carr
said maybe. That's for sure.
For his stop, you can't afford this. You can't afford to get swept by Mahomes or Herbert. You can't if you're Derek Carr or Gruden. You know what I'm saying? The Raiders have to win at least 9 of these games. And they have to win at least 9 to even be considered for third place, really, because Denver is not bad. So if they win 7 games, they might be 4th place. They have to win at least 9. I think if they can win 9, they can. If they can win 9 out of this ridiculous schedule, they can win 11. If you can beat Pittsburgh and Baltimore and beat the Chargers once, you got to be able to beat Cleveland. I think if you can beat 3 top 5 D lines, you got to be able to get past Myles Garrett and them, right? If you want to be able to team.
The thing about the
it's
NFL,
it's tough to say. I'm about to say, bro, it's week to week, bro. Like
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It is week to week, but before the bye, this is 7 tough games, and then after that, it doesn't get much easier.
For sure.
You gotta have some type of run here. Like they gotta at least win 3 out of before the bye, and then you can't lose to New York by any circumstances on this schedule. You gotta at least split the NFC East. At least. If you don't,
that's what Disco just said too. They need to split the division. And yes, Disco, you're right. He will arguably be the best quarterback in NFC East if he came to Washington.
He would,
but he's not.
Be.
No question.
We're not going. Absolutely.
Until Dak is 100% healthy, Derek Carr would 100% be the best corner in the NFC. He'd be the best quarterback in a lot of divisions. Derek Carr has the potential to be a Hall of Famer. He's not lived up to it though. Derek Carr can throw a ball 70 yards. He can give you a 4,000-yard passing, 500-yard rushing season. He can do it. He can do a lot of things. If it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. You know what I'm saying? Year 8. You know what I'm saying? We're in year 8, and we're like, all of the years past, it's always if this, if that, if he had this, if he wasn't hurt, if his back wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a personal thing. It's like at some point, you got to win. And then this is the Raiders' second year in Vegas. You got to put people in the seats. If the Raiders keep going 500 or under in this brand new stadium, Mark Davis is doing all of this stuff to recoup his money and make money. Next year, you got Spencer Rattler. You got, what's my man? Sam Howell. You got all of these, Carson Strong, who's in Nevada.
Hey, you might want to wait another year. Man. You might want to wait another year for quarterback. This ain't
I'm saying though, like if people are going to be calling for, I don't think this is a year for quarterbacks for them to do it. But I'm just saying, like, when is the year that Derek Carr should realistically have a 5,000-yard season this year? If he doesn't have at least,
I think he's capable.
He's capable, but
he kind of has to. I mean, realistically, Mahomes is number 1 to me, and then Herbert is a top 10 quarterback to me, just off potential alone. They're going to be Hall of Famers, maybe. Derek Carr is,
for sure.
You know,
what's our receiving core looking like? Because
so you got Henry Ruggs, who you took 12. Hunter Renfrow, who's probably top 3 slot receiver, and then you got Brian Edwards, who played one or 2 games last year from South Carolina. And then you got like Zay Jones, who looks better this year in preseason. You know, they really believe in him. But I mean, the Raiders, probably the biggest question mark on offense to me is the receiving core. I mean, you got a lot of what ifs. You hope that you draft Henry Ruggs at 12, he has to have a 1,000-yard season or close to it. Regardless of where you line him up, it was a waste of a pick. That's like drafting Devin Hester in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't draft a wide receiver in the first round if you don't think that this can potentially be a Pro Bowl receiver.
I see that. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I just looking at this schedule, bro. If y'all win 10 games, y'all deserve it. But ain't
no bullshit. If you win it, you deserve it. That's it.
Y'all deserve to go to.
And I'm not being biased at all. I'm not being biased. I'm just saying, looking at the contract, Gruden, you're almost halfway through this. Derek Carr, you're almost 10 years into this thing. Like Mark Davis, you're trying to rebuild this franchise. People have been calling for Mark Davis to sell or somebody to extort him or something forever. Like, you have to do something. You got this brand new stadium. Raiders haven't won a playoff game in 19 years.
Damn.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, realistically, they have the talent to win at least 8, but they have
19 years.
They have to wait. They have to win at least 10, or hell's gonna break loose. Like, what can Jon Gruden say next year if they go 500?
Oh, it's nothing to say.
It's nothing.
They're gonna ask him to go right back in the booth.
And Mark Davis looks like a complete fool if they don't eventually win. He doesn't really care about the football aspect of it. But then when you, Mark Davis, stick your neck out to get rid of Khalil Mack, then you've injected yourself into it, and now people are looking at you. So, like,
we'll see.
I mean, I think they can do it, though. I think that they can win 9 to 10 games. I really do think they can.
Okay. All right. Hey, so Maliek, man, hey, this has been good. The Raiders, obviously we know they're not the front runners of the AFC West, but they definitely have a good shot at making the playoffs, man. And they have a strong offense that'll continuously get better. Obviously, you said the receivers are going to be a question mark in terms of proving themselves, but we'll see how that goes, man. Appreciate you joining us, and I want you to know before we go. I want the people to know before we go. Just let them know where they can find you, where they can find your work, anything and everything. Maliik Obee, let the people know what you got going on, boss.
Oh yeah, so on Twitter, my Twitter is NFL Maliek. My book is available on Amazon, iTunes, Barnes and Noble, etc. It's called Bounce Beat Baby: My Life Through the Sound of Go-Go. You can also follow Draft HBCU. We're heading to Canton on September 3rd for the Black College Hall of Fame game, which will be on NFL Network. And then we'll be heading to Orlando, which we just confirmed today, for UCF versus Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman has
that's tight.
Yeah, they have a preseason All-American that's actually been added to the Senior Bowl watch list. So and
I don't know why I thought the HBCU thing. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you. I thought the HBCU was after the season. So it's the September 3rd game is the actual.
That's the holiday.
No. He's on the preseason watch list for the Senior Bowl.
No. I meant you said it was a game on September 3rd that you were heading.
No. September 3rd is the Black College Football Hall of Fame Classic. It's Tennessee State versus Grambling State.
Okay, all right, now problem. I got you.
Tennessee's new head coach is Eddie George.
Yeah. Eddie George, yep.
Yeah. And this is going to be on NFL Network. It's going to actually be a whole little weekend thing. ESPN and the NFL Network are doing a lot more with HBCUs. There's going to be 96 HBCU games televised on ESPN this year. And this game is going to be on NFL Network, but they're going to be doing a whole HBCU thing through the weekend, which we're going to be covering. They're going to have like Marvin Sapp. They're going to have a step show, all of that put on by the Black College Hall of Fame. So definitely tune into that on NFL Network. We're going to be covering everything on all of our platforms. We already set up some interviews with some players, and we're working on Eddie George right now. Multimedia, of course, scouting.
That's tight. Y'all let me know if y'all get Eddie, bro.
Yeah, like
talking to my guy.
Yeah, like this is going to be it's going to be a great year for HBCU football. So, especially with I went to Morgan. The co-founder, my guy Tim, he went to Virginia State, and we got a couple of writers and former players, et cetera, different HBCUs to cover different games. So we're going to actually be at the UCF game, and then we got somebody going to Wake Forest. Norfolk State has probably the second best HBCU quarterback we've seen in a long time. And they got the best HBCU head coach to me out right now in Dawson Odoms, who just transferred to Norfolk State. So they're going to be
leave the SWAC.
He left Southern. He left Southern where he won a championship, and now he's at Norfolk. And Norfolk is, the MEAC is only 6 teams now, so they're probably going to be really, really good. They play Wake Forest, and that can do wonders for Jawan Carter, who's the quarterback for his draft stock. And the HBCU Combine is next April in Montgomery. Is it Montgomery?
That's what I'm trying. I'm gonna try and get us, Nick and Ryan. I'm trying to get us out to the off season stuff. But yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. I need that.
I'll definitely get y'all the information because we're definitely gonna be going down there. You got the senior combine, HBCU senior combine, and then like now they're gonna have all the pro days. ESPN will be covering a lot more HBCU pro days, and College Game Day opens up at HBCU MEAC versus SWAC first. It's
Alcorn State versus
North Carolina Central. Yeah, on ESPN on August 28th. So we were trying to be there, but I'm not gonna lie, tickets, the flight was like $700, so that was dead.
Oh.
But the next 3 weeks we're gonna be covering about 5 games, and then just covering throughout the season. Morgan plays Towson, and a lot of different games. So yeah, draft HBCU on Twitter, draft HBCU players on Instagram, draft HBCU players on TikTok, and the website will be unveiled after we come back from Canton with our first interview. We got a special guest player, HBCU legend that went in the first round. That's going to be doing an interview for us.
Super tease.
Yeah,
I respect
you know. Yeah, we try. Like I said, we're just trying to give more exposure to HBCU football. Legends, of course. Like people don't know Morgan State, Jackson State, Grambling. Yeah, Morgan, Jackson, and Grambling have more Hall of Famers than like 90% of D1 schools. You know, Morgan has 4. Jackson State has 5 now, and Grambling has 5 now.
Shit,
so,
UMS had a couple too, and they don't even got a football team no more.
Arshell is the first, black coach ever. He went to Eastern Shore, and the Raiders drafted like 7 other players after that, so all it takes is this. I don't know if y'all seen Nick Saban just did a commercial with Deion Sanders about HBCU football, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a lot of exposure this year, especially for people like us that went to HBCUs, and somebody that covers HBCU football where like 2 years ago, I might go to HBCU Pro Day and it might be one NFL team, maybe regional like the Redskins or football team or the Eagles or the Ravens. But now, like Morgan, Josh Miles, who plays for the Cardinals, he just played last week. It was 7 teams at his Pro Day, and Morgan didn't have a player drafted since Bashante Shanko in 2003.
Damn.
I remember that. It's somebody playing for the Chicago Bulls right now for Morgan.
Yeah,
I forget his name.
Troy Baxter.
He's cutting up.
We trying to bring that exposure so people can understand, like especially for people like us, where you have, and I know we talk about this a lot, but like more of the exposures for schools like Howard and stuff like that, and that's great. And we want all like HBCUs the exposure, you know what I'm saying? But like in terms of sports, we don't really get that same exposure. We know Scotty P has Howard. We know that. We hear it on every damn award show. But like in sports, we don't really get that same recognition for modern players. Darius Leonard is the highest paid inside linebacker ever. He went to South Carolina State. South Carolina State produced Harry Carson, the other great Hall of Fame linebacker that played with Lawrence Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much that we don't know. Like everybody knows Jackson State, Walter Payton, but like Robert Brazile just went in the Hall of Fame from there. Harry Carmichael just got in the Hall of Fame. It's like HBCUs are approaching 40 Hall of Famers. So like for somebody like me that went to Morgan, this stuff is important. You know what I'm saying? So it's just getting that exposure out there, and there's nothing wrong with any other schools, but it's like historically we know the history of HBCUs and the drop off over the last 30 years of talent coming to HBCUs and making it to the NFL and other sports. We got with Baxter now and Anthony Tart, who went to Coppin, we got 3 HBCU players in the entire NBA. And that's kind of crazy to me to think about. You know what I'm saying? So, like, seeing the change is definitely important. You know what I'm saying? Especially in football, So, we just trying to, continue to put the narrative out there and put the facts and
raise
history
awareness. Absolutely. Hey, keep doing your thing, bro, because that shit is amazing, man, and you're doing a good job. You're off to a good start. And we're obviously I've been following you, so I'm still tuned in. I'm always gonna be tuned in to everything that you got going on HBCU, bro. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate everybody for watching. For watching live. Oh yeah,
bro. Appreciate you.
Already, like I told you, man. Anytime I get a chance to bring somebody on from around the area, bro, it's no problem. At all.
Morgan State.
Absolutely. Yes, so appreciate everybody for watching, listening, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Rate us. If it's 1 star, you know the vibes. I'll find you. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good deal. But yeah, with that being said, I'll be back tomorrow. We're previewing the Ravens Washington football team game on Saturday, man. So appreciate everybody for watching. I will see you tomorrow. The fellas will see you all. We gotta talk about that, but it's not gonna be next week because we got the rehearsal. We're in the wedding. Right. We're in the wedding. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see y'all soon. Put it that way. All right. Appreciate y'all for watching. Peace.
Whole hard in the trenches. Ask a nigga what he benching. Triple digits, nigga. Don't forget to mention. Whole hard in